that. We appear to be live. We appear to be live. Oh, we appear to be live. Let's close that. Let's make sure nothing else makes any noise. Sure. Let's open up a chat here. Hopefully no one... Oh, you know what? Let's go on the YouTube anyway, so whatever. So for those of you that do not know, this is the customs tournament run in the Breakfast Club by Moriarty. Breakfast Club is another server made by Exceed fans, specifically to cater to customs content. So this is naturally a customs tournament. I believe there are 25 or so characters curated, specifically curated for this tournament, from the, I'm sure, hundreds of fan-made characters that have been made by various people among the years. On red side, we have Petersonian, aka Peter Pirates. His characters are what? Fortuna, Spider-Man, and his pick. I guess we're not doing... And then Reggie has some characters here as well. Well, there's the UI that you can kind of, if you know the characters, you can kind of suss out who they are. A lot of them are like weird anime characters though, so I don't really recognize them. But anyway, it looks like we're going to be off shortly. This is CPAT coming at you with more Exceed content. And like I just said, this is the Customs tournament. Looks like Reggie's just shuffling his bag. We're going to see Reggie bringing out the Iron Man, and we're going to see Petersonian bringing out the Skull Kid. I'll take a look at Skull Kid's UA here. If your attack hit, transform it. Okay. So you can transform normals, I'm assuming, as well. Take a look at the kit here while we have a little bit of time. Specials, we have kind of a slower SPD shape. Hits our range 2 as well. We have a super fast card here. Speed 6 Fireball, 4 damage. Oh, but wait, hold on. These transforms appear to be... What? They're transforms that help the opponent. That's so cool. So I'm assuming Skull Kid's just going to have a bunch of OP cards and then... Oh, that's such an interesting concept. I really like this. Whoever made this, big ups. Big ups to you for the Skull Kid. That's such a cool... That's so cool. And then Iron Man, we actually saw Iron Man played in our last game that we casted. So I'm not going to do a deep dive into that kit. But man, that's so interesting. This is cool. Very cool. Very cool. How does the character build gauge, though? I guess the character builds gauge because you can't transform copies? I don't really sure how that works. I'm not really sure how that works. What's up, Ice Pop? Yeah, we have some more Exceed action. I'm probably going to be leaving this match halfway because the competitors are starting a bit late. And I have a phone call to attend to whenever that comes through. So I'm probably going to be leaving this match halfway through, although both these players are pretty fast, so maybe not. I mean, we'll see, although they are starting, 23 minutes late, so maybe not. But, yeah, very, very interesting concept here. I wonder what the flip side will be. We've seen Iron Man before. Looks like Skull Kid could be initiating a strike right away. Could be the laser, could be the stopping lunge, or it could be just a dive, right? There's your basic mix-up here for Skull Kid. Although, reminder that these specials give transforms that benefit the opponent. So I'm kind of expecting this just to be dive, honestly. For that reason. I feel like you don't want to be giving your opponent a transform this early in the game. Right. Two of them are dive-likes, but no, it's actually the Stomping Lunge. Beats the Wild Swing dive from Reggie, so this is going to be 3 damage. Now the Twin Mold's mask, however, has been transformed, so each time Petersonian would spend 1 or more force, his force costs are increased by 1 for the rest of the game. That's pretty spicy. On a card that isn't like particularly very strong, right? It's not a weak card by any means. It's a fast dive. Fast dives have their use in the Fireball meta, but I mean that's a pretty expensive cost. That transform, as we're going to see Reggie boost run, get over to range 3 on the other side. Petersonian going to be striking with the assaults. Reggie trades with the sweep. That's going to be 4 for 6. Drops the focus out of the hand as well. Advantage to Petersonian here, of course, with only 2 cards in hand. I might just prepare, although I'm not sure how aggressive Petersonian wants to be. Looks like the assault goes to gauge, though. It does not get... It appears that we're using the ruling of transforms can only be transformed if they have a transform attached to them. Which means that we can be using these ultras, right? We're going to see Petersonian prepare, and then we have a little bit of a now draw 2, very similar, very reminiscent of the Ken boost, although this one just adds itself to Gauge. Gauge, of course, super important for Iron Man, because it unlocks his different armors, which really kind of enhance the character, right? You get like an astral type ultra, right? Because it adds to your hand, and you also get a UA, right? Like Extremis armor is just, I'm assuming it's like a better version of that, or where you get like, I mean, you just get like options, right? And options are always good. Well, options are good if the options themselves are good. The options themselves are very good. So this kind of boost is very good. We see Petersonian boost defend, and then we see a Fierce come out. Reminder: Iron Man's front side allows him to key charge every time he boosts. This is a typo here. Should be your continuous boosts have that, and there probably should be exclamation points. Anyway, it's gonna be a strike from Petersonian at range 1. It's going to be the ignore guard option here from Petersonian here. This card was basically quote-unquote unbeatable. By unbeatable, I mean it's always going to trade combat. However, now Reggie has the ability to spend force to get +1 power, +1 speed, and that could be pretty spicy. Paired with the right combat cards. Maybe not the most spicy at range 1, but it's pretty spicy overall. Also had hit gain advantage, so Petersonian will use that to prepare. Back to Reggie here. Man, this character's so cool. Wonder what the backside will be. As we see a box of scraps boosted, so it's going to be basically a preemptive strike here. +2 speed, now strike, because of course Sweep was the topmost card on Reggie's deck. Because it was the combat card that he played last turn. Okay, we're just catching a little bit of an error here. Reggie played a boost with +2 speed, however, that has now strike on it. Yep, and Reggie's just going to be striking with card now with +2 speed. Now strike +2 speed, not the most important at range 1, where speed quote-unquote doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure Iron Man doesn't have any spicy like ignore armor options here at range 1 either. That's just going to be Reggie playing the speed 7 assault into a sweep from Petersonian. Reggie gets advantage. Petersonian yoinks out that focus from Reggie's hand, which is now empty. Reggie has built 4 gauge, so he can choose to exceed if he wants. He has the gauge to do so. It doesn't really have a hand to pair with it, but of course will get an ultra in hand. Although these ultras are pretty expensive overall. Yep, and Reggie looks like he's just going to opt for that exceed action right away. So when he exceeds, he can remove this from play, and then now he can become one of these 3 characters. And looks like he's going to pick the Extremis armor. We'll take a look at this. Add the Extremis advantage from your hand, and then put a continuous boost for your discard pile into play, ignoring all now effects. So very reminiscent of the fight UA, actually, when you exceed. Helps you win the next combat more handily. Now he actually gets to be Super Viper. His continuous boosts have now draw a card, then you may strike. Interestingly enough, very cool. And looks like Reggie's just going to put the Fierce into play. That's +2 power. Is ignoring now, so that's that trigger won't happen just yet. But now basically Reggie gets to be Super Viper. And actually with a decent spread of cards here as well. Also picks up that Extremis advantage, which appears to be a fun super discard. As Petersonian just texts the Grasp. It's going to be a defend in play. Reminder that, of course, any continuous boost that Reggie plays for the rest of the game will basically be like King Knight, so he will draw 2 cards off it. Or he can just draw 1 card and then strike. It's back to Petersonian here. Petersonian looks like he's going to exceed. What does that exceed side do? Your attacks have, for every 2 cards... Oh my. Oh my. Petersonian now has spend 1 force for +2 power on his attacks. That is something. Although it now does cost 2 force, because whenever Petersonian would spend 1 force, he has to spend 1 additional force. So he's got like a fight UA basically. Very cool. Spend 2 force for +2 power. Okay, this game definitely got a whole lot more interesting. This character is really cool. This character, whoever made this character, big ups to you. I really like the. I always wanted to see like a character with like negative transforms. That's a very cool one. As we see, hit +2 power, add this card to your gauge. Nothing too simple about that. Although Reggie, of course, will be striking now instead of drawing that card for end of turn. So I mean, +2 power now strike with draw 1 is a super powerful card, right? Petersonian is going to attempt to cross out, however Reggie crosses himself. So that is going to be a 5 power cross from Reggie. Petersonian down to 15 HP. Reggie back to the corner. Majora at range 3. Back to Petersonian here. Petersonian going to strike here, range 3 mix-up. Not spending... Oh, actually... Oh, it's a spike! Oh, but Reggie wild swings the assault. And that's exceed, man. The spike will, of course, miss. As the assault comes in, hits Petersonian for 4, back to Reggie here. Both players on relatively low hand size. Extremis armor in the lead, however, as far as health is concerned, 14 to 11. Looks like we're going to see perhaps, no, an expenditure of 2 force to retreat 2 from Reggie. What's going on here? Oh, I think Reggie just showing the Ultra that's the threat here. That Extremis advantage. 5-speed Fireball. That forces the opponent to discard card. Petersonian says, I'm not afraid of that, just going to prepare right into the Extremis advantage. Will Reggie strike with it here? He does have the... Nope, he actually does not. He actually just chooses to boost the better Fierce. Or actually, no, he can strike with this now, right? And he spends a force, and he's going to be striking with the Extremis, and then is going to probably spend... Oh, actually cannot spend a force for +1 speed on that. Oh, actually did spend for +1 speed, excuse me. Spent the focus, and I'm assuming that's going to be +1 speed on this. To beat the cross. So this is going to be a pretty... This is going to be a pretty bad hit effect here. Here's somebody just chooses to block, but that's going to be the full hand discarded there for Petersonian. So he prepped into that, which is a little bit little bit confusing. Maybe he had the cross and then forgot that. Yeah, he looks like he had the cross, but forgot that his own transform gave Reggie +1 speed to outspeed the cross, which is bad news there. That's going to be a 5 power extremist advantage. Petersonian does have 1 force in his hand to negate most of that, and probably should spend it. Yeah, spends the second block to take only 1. Oh, actually, excuse me. There was a fierce in play as well. So there was the Merchant of Death boosted. So that was actually a what 7 power extremist advantage there. So Petersonian will take 3 damage. It's not stunned, so the block at least gets added to gauge. Looks like it's going to be a strike here. It's going to be the dive. Reggie wild swings the block. Petersonian does have the ability to spend 2 force for +2 power. Don't think he'll do so here. It's a 1/7/4 incoming. Yeah, Moriarty used true 7 power extremist advantage into a wild swing block at least. As Petersonian had drawn cards, but I think he forgot that Reggie can add +1 speed to the extremist advantage to beat the cross. Right. Which really put Petersonian in a bit of a hole here as far as resources are concerned. Anyway, we are going to be boosting a +2 speed here. Will Reggie strike? Looks like he's drawn a card and shuffling his hand like he is going to strike. Chooses not to. Petersonian's turn now. Finds himself in only 1 card in hand. Okay, just chooses to strike into the +2 speed here. We're going to see a critical from Reggie. It's just going to be a 5 speed assault. Reggie with the 6 speed jet punch will outspeed that 5 speed assault. Luckily, that discard effect actually doesn't matter. Wait, why do you crit it then? What? Did I miss something? I don't know why you crit it. Whatever. But basically, the jet punch will kind of get himself. It plays similar to like a dive in the corner. Will just gets himself out at speed 6. Will miss at range 2-3, and the assault will chase through afterward. Reggie then initiates a strike from range 2. Petersonian forces the wild swing. Wild swing's a sweep. However, it is the Repulsor Blast. Repulsor Blast does not perform super well here at only 3 power. Will push 1, gets a little bit of extra gauge, but that sweep will hit back for massive damage. Misread most likely. Yeah, probably. Oh, there's a misreading earlier in the game as well. That photon cannon gets added to gauge, which is good. A little bit of extra force there. That's going to be 3 power incoming. Will Petersonian spend the 2 force? He does spend the 2 force. That's going to be an 8 damage sweep. Both players now find themselves at 5 HP. Sweep also discards the Unibeam from hand. I believe that was Reggie's strikes, so it is now... It's not Petersonian's turn, yeah. I think that was just a misread of the ability on, what is it, the Jet Punch? Yeah, the Jet Punch crit did nothing there. I mean, the card didn't even hit, and then Reggie had no hand anyway, so I'm not really, that must have been just a mistake there. As both players look at the Unibeam. Very cool. Majora with no cards in hand will probably just prepare. Although, I mean, yeah, we'll prepare, but, I mean, if Extremist Armor has a good boost, and it's going to be that box of scraps, the box of scraps putting the Ablative Armor into play. We'll, of course, have draw a card that you may strike on it as well. So Reggie will draw a card. Well, actually has to strike. Whatever. I believe it's a wild swing from Reggie into the laser from Majora, and this laser could kill. It's the Unibeam, and the laser will kill as Petersonian spends 2 force to give it +2 power, and that's 5 damage exactly through the Ablative Armor, and that's gonna be it. Petersonian drawing that speed 6 option at the right time, although I feel like we didn't see one all game, so pretty likely for Petersonian to actually have this in hand. Look at that. The 5 damage laser there finishes the game off for Petersonian. That's gonna be 1-0 in his favor. This, of course, is a best of 3 match, so we could see up to one more match if Petersonian wins the next one. Or let's see if Reggie can bring it back. Petersonian has Fortuna and Spider-Man at its disposal. Petersonian already bring up the Fortuna. This is a character I've not seen before. Let's see if Reggie decides to run it back with the Iron Man, or if he goes to a different character. It looks like he is going to be running it back with the Iron Man. And we have Popper here. Okay, what do you have here? Before setting a wild swing, you may boost with any number of continuous boosts from your hand. Okay. Before, if the total printed power of your strike in all card... Oh my, this is like a mini game all of its own. If the total printed power of your strike in all cards in your boost area is 11 or more, your attacks miss. This is very reminiscent of the... Okay, yeah. This is kind of reminds me of like a Lum type character. Lum is a character in Yomi that kind of has like these weird like poker tricks where he's kind of playing like sometimes. I mean the ability is different, but he's like kind of playing a single player game a little bit when it comes to like kind of like this blackjack type deal. Oh, let's not take a look at the backside. Let's take a look at the kit here real quick. What a card. 7747, but look at that boost. Straights. Oh, that's a fun one. Okay. You know what? I feel like this is one of those kits where I'm not gonna take a look at it, and we're just gonna. Yeah, Lum is the panda in Yomi. He's the gambling panda in Yomi. But I think this is just one of those games where we're not gonna take a look at the kit, and we're just gonna kind of see what happens and kind of let it ride from there. In Puzzle Strike, he just has in the original Puzzle Strike, yeah, I think Puzzle Strike got like a newer version, and then it doesn't have that. But yeah, in Puzzle Strike, Puzzle Strike the original one had Living on the Edge, which was essentially a dead chip. It just had the 2 money chip. The problem with Lum in Puzzle Strike is that he was just incredibly boring, because the best strategy for Lum with the 2 chip was just to go mono purple. No, I'm actually not talking about Puzzle Strike 2 Moriarty. I'm actually talking about Puzzle Strike 1 got a rebalance, because Puzzle Strike had this problem where purples were too good. Purple chips were too good, namely crashes and combines. So that game actually got rebalanced like 2 years later with a new version. As we see Light coming in for Iron Man, Fortuna immediately runs in. How recently? This was 8 years ago. I want to say the original Puzzle Strike came out in 2010, and then this one, the rebounds, came out 2-3 years later.
Oh no, I'm getting my phone call now. Oh, I really want to see Fortuna gameplay. Oh, I really want to see it, but I have to take this phone call. Unfortunate, but hopefully you guys can see it and enjoy what's going on. Let me just kind of zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see the power values and everything, but I actually have to go. But obviously I'll keep the stream running, but... Oh man, I really want to see this. I mean, I'll watch it, I just won't be able to commentate on it. But I hope you guys enjoy this game, regardless of how it goes, because it looks very interesting. I hope to catch more of this character in the future, because it definitely looks like a very interesting one. But yeah, I will be back. Or I might not be. I don't know. We'll see. These players play really quickly.